Hello and welcome to This Entrepreneurial Life. Good morning, my name is Erlend Bakke. I am the best-selling author of a book called Never Work Again, which teaches you how to live the freedom lifestyle, travel the world, and make money at the same time. Now, I've actually been doing this for the past sort of 6-7 years, and it works. So, this is my video blog. It's basically about entrepreneurship. It is about life. It is about what I've learned over the past 10 years of having 3 companies of 75 employees. And I'm always learning, I'm always trying to develop, and this video blog is really about sharing what works and what doesn't work with you so that you can run a better business and improve your life incrementally over time. I do these videos Monday through Friday, and nice to meet you, nice to see you, and well, I can't actually see you. But today it's all about dealing with negative people. Now, if you are on planet Earth, you will from time to time have to deal with negative people. And guess what? When you come out there and you are talking about your new idea, your new concept, a lot of people are going to tell you that it is not going to work, or this already exists, or why will this work for you when it hasn't worked for others? And there's also going to be the element of crab syndrome. So the crab syndrome is if you try to do something different. For instance, this year I have not been drinking alcohol, and a lot of my friends are constantly telling me that I should be drinking alcohol. Well, my question back to them is, why do you drink alcohol? I feel incredibly good now after about, so I stopped 1st of January. Today is the 6th of September, so I've had 8-9 months without alcohol, and I feel great. And the good people, the good people are curious, and they ask me how I feel. They ask me what the benefits are, and they're curious, and they also have an acceptance for me not drinking. But then there's other people that are quite insistent on that I will have no life, and that I will be boring, and etc. But the fact of the matter is, I actually never really deep down enjoyed drinking. I actually always felt better sober at parties, and I'm more fun when I'm sober. Actually, I'm one of those weird people, because what alcohol does is it actually elevates your emotions. So if you're angry, you get more angry. If you have some kind of negative emotion, it's actually elevating that emotion. So that's what alcohol does. And then if you, let's say, you're happy and you elevate your happiness, then the next day you'll be equally depressed, because everything is balanced, right? Ooh, that's cool. That's cool. I can do that. I can do that up and down. Negative people. Okay, so if you surround yourself with toxic people, it's an energy field, and if you have lots of negative people around you, then you get sucked into that energy field. Now, one person in my family is at the moment being negative, being difficult, and what's happening is, which is really interesting, is actually people around are actually changing or adapting to allow her to have this energy. So negative attracts negative, positive attracts positive. So if you want to have a more positive life and you want to make it easier for yourself, then stop putting yourself in a place where you are surrounded by negative people. And if you're in a job where you hate the people you work with, then I suggest quitting your job and getting something else. It's actually better to clean toilets with cool people than to work in a high-profile job with shitty people. I highly, strongly believe that. And of course, if you have your own business, you can actually choose who you surround yourself with. So you can choose your employees, you can choose who you buy from, who you sell to. So it gives you a greater level of control, but you're still going to have to deal with negative people and negative things. So what I focus on is the sort of 4 or 5 people that I spend the most time with. I make sure that they are people that lift me up and not bring me down. And with the negative people, you just have to make a stand, and you just have to decide that these are people that you no longer are going to spend time with. So community is incredibly important. It's actually proven that community is what prolongs our life the longest. It's not drinking or smoking. It's actually a community, because the community you're in lifts you up. or pulls you down. So being very strategic about how you invest your time in what kind of people, and if you're invited for something and you feel obligated to go, but you don't want to, then don't go, because it's gonna sap your energy. It's better not to go than to go to something where you feel like you will lose energy. The only time you should be going to something that you don't want to go to is if you believe it will strengthen your character. So, for instance, sometimes you can surround yourself with negative people, put yourself in a place where you will be criticized. And this is a stoic practice to strengthen yourself. So if you put yourself in a place where you are criticized around negative people, then and you're fine with it, you let go of it, and you're not affected, then that actually strengthens your character and makes you stronger to deal with negative people in the past. But it's not your job to fix negative people. It's not your job to try to be positive around them so that they feel better. It is incredibly difficult to change what people think and how they are and their values. It is not your job. It is not something that you necessarily can set out to actually achieve. So it's kind of like playing a winning game, like a losing game. You already lost before you start playing. So what I highly suggest is, in the case of wanting to do something about negative people, is to be 100% yourself and not think about whether what they think affects you or not. So which comes to, there's three types of people. That's six. There's three types of people. There's saints, vampires, and zombies. Okay, so I basically split that basically into 95% of the population are basically zombies. They're not really conscious about what they're doing. They're more on autopilot, just living their life, just doing, not really thinking. And then about 2.5% they're vampires. So they're negative. They're psychopaths. They're dangerous. And they affect a lot of people to be negative. A lot of people don't know that they're super negative, which comes down to the thinking part. And then there's a part of the population who are awesome people that are super cool. They lift you up. They're giving. They're thoughtful, and they have a positive energy. So life is too short not to spend your life with saints. That's what I believe. I strongly believe that life is too short not to spend time with the absolute best people that you know, and constantly attracting that level of people. So you got to ask yourself, what kind of social circles should I start going to when I want to be in those kind of circles? So, for instance, if you go to a yoga studio, for instance, you're going to meet pretty cool people, people that are awake, more awake. There's still negative people there, but there's a cluster of more positive people. If you go to, for instance, join a club where there are good people, there's likely to be more good people. So if you go to something negative, I don't know, I don't have a really good example because I try to avoid them. But try to make your life easier. Remember that negative attracts negative, positive attracts positive. So eliminate the people that are giving you energy, that you feel like their energy lifts you up. If it's a drain to be around those people, then it's a clear sign that you shouldn't be spending time with them, and it's just exhausting. So that is my advice about negative people. Cut them out, eliminate them. You cannot fix them. Sometimes it is good to expose yourself to negativity, to criticism, because it strengthens you, but only do it as an exercise of strengthening who you are and what you do. Don't consciously surround yourself with them and try to think that you can actually change them dramatically. Changing habits, changing who people are is incredibly hard. And remember that when it comes to hiring people, the likelihood of people changing is incredibly hard, and if they do, it's very slow. So this was another episode of This Entrepreneurial Life. My name is Erlend Bakke. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit like below. I've interviewed more than 250 experts, Navy SEAL commandos, billionaires, real estate investors on how they do business and what works for them. You can check that out on Hardcore MBA. And yeah, I'm making these videos daily. You can check out my book, Never Work Again, if you want to start a business. It was nice meeting you. Enjoy. Have a good day.